Most people probably don't care. I find the financing stuff to be very fascinating, and that's why I listen to a lot of finance podcasts, and I listen to sports finance podcasts. And when you listen to the people that are involved in those things, there's layers to these things. And he brought up at the end a scenario where they get things greenlit in Vegas, and then he would either sell a portion, part of the team to someone else. I keep hearing murmurs from different people that are in the know. The gambling wants the A's in Vegas.
Yeah.
Now, you could say, Joe, the gambling wants sports in Vegas, the NBA, Major League Baseball.
Right. And it feels like they're going to get all that anyway.
Exactly. And it feels like, as you see now, Mark Davis giving a point to Tom Brady for, I don't know, $20 million, $50 million. I don't know how much Tom Brady paid to get one little tiny fraction share of that team. Everybody wants to be in on ownership, and these gambling companies are clearly in bed with sports moving forward. That's period, right? And all of the big-time movers and shakers behind the scenes, you know why Jerry Jones wanted in on Vegas? Because he wanted the NFL to be in on Vegas. Why did the Walmarts buy into the Denver Broncos? Right. Because the NFL wanted to be in business with the Walmart. No, why did Amazon and Bezos, why have they been linked to the Washington football team forever, even though he didn't get it?
The NFL linked up with Amazon.
They want to be linked up, which is one of their big partners moving forward. Same thing with Apple right now. It's going to happen. Major League's going there. I don't know if it's the A's, but they're going there.
They're going.
But here's what I would say, and it's going to sound like I'm anti-East Bay. I'm not. I want to make this very clear. Had the Giants been in the position that the A's are in, I think the dynamic would play out exactly the same. One of these teams is getting choked out because there's not enough demand, in my opinion, and there's too much supply of baseball. We don't have the expendable money. I think that times are so hard right now in California in general. The Angels are having the same problem right now. The Angels are having Artie Moreno put the team up for sale. They've got the most marketable player in baseball. They've got a Hall of Famer who's the closest to Ken Griffey Jr. and is one of the best players the game has ever seen in Mike Trout. And they've got a decent, not a great, but a decent plot of land, and they can build a stadium. And no one wants that team. No one wants to pay that money for that team. The A's have less of that. They want more because they're out of their minds. They have no farm system currently. They have no big league team currently. And the way that the public interprets that team, their brand, is the lowest it's ever been. It's a tough sell.
It's a tough sell right now because of what the owner has done. When you threaten to move a team for years and years and years,
100%,
you don't build a stadium, and you don't sign free agents, and you trade away all your marketable players. Think about all the gut punches they've had, whether it's trading Yoenis Cespedes or Josh Donaldson, and then you recoup, you get back to the playoffs, and you trade off those players. Matt Chapman and company, Matt Olson, you had the Mats here. Two guys at the hot corner who are some of the best players at their position, and you get rid of them.
Murphy,
you get rid of them.
The catcher.
They gutted the team.
Agreed.
So I don't buy. So I push back and say, I don't buy it because we cited all these that this isn't a two-market town. If the A's win and the Giants win, fans will come.
It's only happened a couple of times.
There's a lot of casuals, a lot of casual sports fans who just want to be around the hot thing. If the A's were hot, you would fill out that park and you would get fans there. I don't believe that it's not a two-time. Like, we look at Chicago and New York, we cited the attendance number. The White Sox don't get any fans.
But the argument against that and the way you work this is like you look at the demographics and you'd say to yourself, there is more people. There are more people in Chicago. In terms of two market cities,
and they still don't go to White Sox games.
That's
they still don't go to White Sox games.
That's business 101.
But if the A's won, and the Giants already had their fans, hell, people aren't even going to Giants games.
But see, this is where I would say Giants already have their fans when they're winning. Right? Like, because when they're not winning, that ballpark isn't filled up. And so, yes, have there been times where it's overlapped in the early 2000s, this is 20 years ago, where both stadiums sold out pretty well? Yes. That's the only time in history that these two teams have been in this market.
Right.
When the Giants were going to move to St. Petersburg, there were rumors the A's were going to move to San Francisco. When the Giants were the number one attendance in baseball in the 60s, then the A's showed up in the 70s, they became number one in attendance.
So right now the Angels average 31,000, nearly 32,000 fans a game.
Which is
nearly
crazy.
32, which is crazy, right? 32,000 fans a game. The Dodgers average about 47,000 fans a game.
I think they're like top two in baseball.
Dodgers are number one.
They're number one. Okay,
number two.
I knew they were right there.
Yankees are number 3. Mets are number 10. Cubs are number 9. You look at the White Sox in their average attendance this year, They average 18.6 thousand fans a game,
and
they've been in that threshold.
But that's like 10,000 more.
It's more, but you got to understand why the A's don't get fans.
No, I understand, but I also understand there's a financial element right now, just in the Bay Area.
I do.
Like, people are leaving.
But
okay, that's number one.
Leaving.
People have flocked to Idaho. I know this is stupid, but Nevada,
no.
Arizona.
Think about this.
It's just hard.
There's a lot of fans who's also flocked to Antioch, Brentwood,
for sure,
Fairfield.
That's
Vallejo.
a good true. That's
and if the A's are good, they will drive their ass from Vallejo or Fairfield to go to these A's games because of the history of the Oakland A's. And if you marketed it well, a new owner will come in. One thing that Joe Lacob gets credit for, and one thing that Joe Lacob does very, very well, and hell, even the Giants do that. They embrace their history. They bring back those players.
Oh, Bonte, there should be a Ricky Henderson statue and stuff like that.
If you did that with the Oakland A's and Ricky Henderson and Dave Stewart did this, I see Dave Stewart at NBC and the way he cares about the Oakland A's and the way A's fans care about him. I don't blame them for not going.
But the way argument that I would make is, does Starbucks want Pete's moving in across the street from them? No. And so if I'm running baseball, I'm working on behalf of the owners, and all of the owners want the same thing. They're like, hey, look, we want us all to thrive. And if one's thriving over here right across from me, I can't thrive. That's the way they view it. Well, you can disagree, but that's the way the Giants view it.
I hear it. And the Giants should, and I get the Giants want the market to themselves. Just like the Niners are like, look, be faithful to the Bay. And the Raiders are leaving.
It's own conversation.
That's all fine. But I do believe this could be a two-market town. And I've seen it be successful. But in Oakland, what's happening?
What's good, man? Listen, I'm right there with you, Bonte. The more that they try to say that the Bay Area in whole is not a too marketable town or towns, it's a disrespect to us as an area. We have a lot of history over here between San Francisco and Oakland. And Oakland, by me being an Oakland native, I feel disrespected that they can try to sit up here and that is the connotation. Like you said, if you are a hot item, of course we're going to buy you on the shelf. Of course, everybody, they have to restock you every time. But if you sit up here and you give us BS, who's going to want to buy that? So at the same time, I feel like it's disrespectful to the history of Oakland. Like you said, you think about the history of what surrounding Oakland, what they have meant to history and the history that Oakland provides itself. With standing up for Black history, with being a leader in politics and anything, in any matter. Like I said, the Bay Area itself, we have always been a standpoint. And you can't tell me we're not more marketable than L.A. LA's got two teams down there.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
New York.
Let me ask you this. I'm not trying to dismiss I'm not trying to dismiss the history of Oakland and what it means to society, this area, all those things. I'm not dismissing. I'm asking you, if you were starting a business right now, okay, and let's say you were one of these professional franchises, you were granted an opportunity to expand. People aren't going to choose Oakland over Nashville, over Las Vegas to expand starting from scratch. I'm just saying that's not what. But that's part of this business. And I look at. They've screwed you fans. Yeah, they have screwed the community. I am not caping up for them. I'm saying if they were not in the equation and you said, hey, you could start a brand new franchise in any sport, anywhere you want, you're not going to say Oakland first. It's not be mean and it's not disrespectful. It's these other markets are open up and people want to go where there's less competition.
But go ahead, finish up.
Not because the football so the football team isn't there. So, of course, you're going to run to Vegas because, now they're building a new market. But by taking away from this market, you're taking away from the history. You're diminishing it. So had the Raiders stayed around and had they tried to get something done, even if you just go ahead and renovate the stadium, you take away the teams, you take away the history. So with no teams, no history, there's no more people. Thanks for taking the call.
You know, with the Raiders, when they first got back to Oakland, I remember I had the SF Examiner, and it said the Raiders are back in Oakland. I had it on my wall because, they were always in a different conference. So I had love for Al Davis. I had love for the Silver and Black. They were one of the iconic football teams. And for a while, when the Raiders came back, football was thriving in this market, both teams. But what happened? You get screwed with the stadium. Al Davis gets a little older. You start making bad draft picks. You start missing the playoffs. People's interest starts... same thing happened with the 49ers at Levi Stadium. You get $20 tickets in the lower bowl in 2016 and 2015. People stop coming, but when you win, everybody wants to be around it. And when the A's were winning, now in the 2010s, the A's, by that point, John Fisher's already stuck his middle finger at the Oakland A's, trying to move all around the place and blaming the Giants for San Jose and this and that.
No, the Giants deserve culpability.
The Giants not letting go of the San Jose territory, because I don't think it would have impacted the Giants fans. Honestly, if the Giants would have said, "Hey, let the A's go down to San Jose," and I get the market,
if you were running a food truck, you wouldn't have given up that San Jose market.
Probably not. Probably not.
And people could say, the A's gave it to them in the first place, and yeah, they did. And the Giants were much more cutthroat.
No, they were.
And
they were.
The Giants play a part
But
in
honestly,
this. And I'm a Giants fan.
Honestly, do you think it would have impacted the Giants brand in any way if they gave San Jose up to Oakland?
They're not giving that market up.
I'm just asking you if they did.
There's
I'm
a reason
asking
why
you
I know,
hypothetically.
but there's. Yes, it would. I do believe it would.
Yeah, I don't know if
because, and I'll tell you why. This is why they have a minor league team there. They have a minor league team in Sacramento as well. They took that from the A's because they wanted to be able to foster fans for generations in those regions.
Which is
like
smart.
That's part of business.
Which is smart.
That's like gaining a foothold. Of course, you would do that. Yeah. You infiltrate, and also because of the financial element, you want to be able to partner up with the Googles and the Apples and all the different Yahoo that are down in that corridor.
San Jose is a huge market. I get that.
It's humongous.
But I wonder how much it would have impacted the Giants. I always think about that in the back of my head.
What do you mean?
The Giants.
You don't think it?
I don't know if it would have impacted them to the point where, all right, San Jose fans are growing up as A's fans, and I get all that, and the Giants are like, man, in 408, we missed out on that market, and San Jose, everybody's going to A's games.
I mean, they're struggling to draw fans now, and they have access to that corridor.
They do. I just wonder, though. I wonder. You are listening to 95.7 Game KGMZ.
San Jose's huge.
San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Let's go to Will and Marin. Will, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I just want to say, I'm a Giants fan, but to take away the A's from the Bay Area would be like taking away the water in the Bay Area. Like, there's so much rich history. Like, I remember, look, I've been to multiple Giants games. And the crowds have not been sold out like they say they have. I went to a game on Barry Bonds' birthday, and he hit a walk-off, and it was half filled. I went to a Tuesday matinee when the Astros were the Lastros, and they were banging the drums for flipping Steven Vogt.
I believe in Steven Vogt.
The thing is like, you have the gravitas of Barry Bonds on one side, and it's great that we had the king of baseball, whatever, for a long time, but then you have Wasps, not Wasps, but just guys that were afterthoughts, coming up and stuff like that, and people are just cheering. All I'm saying is that, it's so wrong to do the things like that, and, here's another crazy thing. They have a cult following like the Diaz brothers. I didn't even realize this. Half of Marin are diehard A's fans. You would just think,
because of 580.
Hey, close to you know what I'm saying? Close to SF. Dude, it's just crazy how rich the A's flow underground. They are pretty much you have people that are mainstream, but they fall underground with Oakland everything. They're underground. Yeah. They're all about it. They come from there. A lot of them are homegrown dudes. Please do not. Like Fisher, if you don't want to give the fans what they want, let somebody else. Let Lakeup buy them so he doesn't fleece the city of Oakland, and so he helps people and creates more jobs. Do justice, Fisher, if you don't want it, please.
Hey, great call, Will. Great call, and I'm with him there. I just that A's market. He brought up Steven Vogt and the people bumping the drums and how they get behind their players. In the 2000s, when they had, or late 90s, early 2000s, when they had Mulder, Zito, Tim Hudson.
Yeah, they were sick.
They had the best commercials.
I know.
I used to be jealous.
The Gold Glove commercial with Eric Chavez when the ball kept hitting it.
Yeah, Miguel
Chicks
Tejada.
dig the long ball.
Giambi. That was
Terrence Long?
They swept the Yankees one series, and Giambi hit a home run off of, who was the lefty reliever? Was it Stanton? It was somebody from the Yankees. And Giambi hit a walk-up. They swept the A's, and it was packed there, 50,000 fans. And I'm like, damn, I'm so jealous of it. And the Giants were winning. The Giants were winning at the time, yet you would go to Bart. You see all the flyers for the A's come out to the yard. And A's fans, I think it could work. I don't buy the notion that, man, this market can't. We're a number 5 market in all of the nation.
I understand that, but Bonte, you also have to remember you're splitting it, right? So when you say you're the number 5 market, you don't have the full, you don't have the full bag. You're splitting it amongst the Giants. What?
I know. I get you're splitting it. I get all that.
And because people always say, well, it's 40th in Vegas, but you're the big fish.
You're telling me you can't get 5 million fans in the turnstiles at both parks?
I think it's only happened a couple times.
Combined?
Can you? Yeah, you can. But you also have to understand this.
So I don't think Chicago's had that in a long time, and that city's much, much bigger.
Monte, when you buy a team, I know Lakeup says we're going to be good all the time, right? you also have to understand you're going to have some lean years, right? And so you want to be able to still draw when you have lean years. And when you do have those lean years, if you're splitting it with another team in that market, you're not going to get those casuals. They're going to convert over because you're having lean years and the other team's having good years.
Have they converted over to the Giants since the A's have been bad?
We'll say that again?
Have those fans converted over to San Francisco for the Giants yet?
I don't know. I do feel like the Giants winning World Series did flip a lot more people, younger kids, into being Giants fans. Also multiplied with how the A's were run. It's not either or. I think it was them together. You know, and look, it sounds like I'm being anti-A or anti-A fan. I'm not.
No,
I'm
not
trying to present the argument. Like, again, I said,
I hear you.
Remove
You don't
the
believe?
A's.
No, it's fair. If you don't believe this market can support 2 baseball teams, that's fair.
Well, I just think things are so expensive. None of us can barely afford to live here, let alone support multiple things simultaneously.
People love their sports, and they'll figure out a way to go. People love their sports.
That's true.
They'll figure out a way to get
I just think about the Warriors. They were the only thing in town, right? In terms of basketball. They're the only thing in town. They opened a brand new stadium, and they had just won their 3rd championship a year before. And they were giving away tickets. People, first year of Chase Center, anyone could get a ticket from anyone. I couldn't believe that was a thing.
Yep.
I mean, that's how quickly things turned. They won 15 games that year. Anyone could have gone to those games that year.
See, I think the A's could get creative with ticket packages. They can tap into their history. You've got some big time names that have played for this organization, that have support this organization. I believe it could work here. I believe they built a stadium, people will come. Now, what does that stadium look like? 30 to 35,000 seats. I think that's appropriate for the Oakland A's.
So you do the math, right? So if you do like 30 to 35,000 seats and you sell out all 82 games, that's 2.5 million.
Yeah, I think they'd be happy with that.
Oh, happy. They'd be doing cartwheels. That's what they're projecting in Vegas, and I'm skeptical on Vegas.
There you go.
I'm very skeptical. Do you know how hard it is to sell out 82 dates? I don't care who you are.
In today's era, absolutely. A lot of people like to just sit on the couch.
The Giants had a fan at one point. They don't anymore, but at one point they had a fan base of season tickets. So no matter what, they weren't going below 30,000, right?
Right.
30,000 a game. You're baked in before the season even starts. We're going to get 2.5 coming through the gates because they've already paid for them.
Already paid.
It's really hard. And they did that after years of winning World Series and after years of Barry Bonds.
Let's go to Brian and Hayward. Brian, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for taking my call. Listen, oh, my God. I respect the Giants and their history a lot. I've been an A's fan all my life. All I want to do is make up this argument. I think more big players have came out of Oakland than San Francisco. And I'm sorry, you guys have the big names. You have Barry Bonds. You have
Mays, McCovey.
Willie Mays. Yeah. McCovey is way underrated.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But we got, Catfish Hunter, Vida Blue, Ricky Henderson, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire.
Reggie Jackson.
Not only the new players like Donaldson, like we just always have these great players. They just never stay in Oakland. You know what I mean? And I honestly just believe that this is we could survive. We just need a stadium. Well, and the Warriors should have never left. We should have all done it together. They could have had the Chase Center right next to the new Oakland Park. I have a Raider tattoo on my leg. I have had it before they moved to L.A. I've worn it since they moved back to Oakland, and now they're in Las Vegas. I don't want to cut off my leg. I'm still a Raiders fan. I'll always be a Raiders fan. I'm just saying they should have done it. And that's why the Warriors were giving away tickets, at first. Yeah. But, we'll always come back. We'll always be loyal. We're Bay Area, man. We're strong.
I want to keep going on this conversation. 888-957-9570. Do you believe this region can support 2 baseball teams? Is this a 2-team market?